Hey guys, it's Connor here from Connor O'Shea Fitness. In today's video, I'm going to go through a lower back rehab guide. Now, I hurt my lower back over 3 years ago, and in that time, it has been frustrating, but I've learned a lot about how to fix my lower back and also how to help my clients who have lower back pain as well. So even though it is a frustrating injury, it's a very common injury, it's definitely an area that you can improve by using the tips in this article. Before I go into the actual rehabilitation process though, first and foremost, the most important thing to do is actually go and see a physiotherapist or a doctor to make sure that everything is okay with the back and that you're actually qualified and safe to go ahead with the rehab. So generally there are two reasons that you'll hurt your back. The first one is an acute injury, so you will hurt yourself maybe doing a deadlift or something like that, or you'll fall and you'll hurt your back that way. So the actual impact in that moment will cause the injury. And the second one is an overuse injury. And in my experience, overuse injuries are more common when it comes to lower back. And this is when you're in repeated positions over long periods of time and eventually your back breaks down. Now, when it comes to getting an actual assessment of your back pain, I would recommend going to a physiotherapist. When it comes to getting MRI scans, there's actually not a huge amount of research that shows them to be an efficient way to treat back pain. And in fact, there's over 30% of people in their 20s have bulging discs without any pain associated with that. And that's meant to increase every 10 years. So about 50% of people over 40 have bulging discs without any back pain. Now, when it comes to rehabbing your back pain, with my clients, I focus on 4 main areas. So first of all, we address their environmental factors and how they're spending their days. The second thing we focus on is their mindset and how they look at their injury as a whole. The third thing that we focus on is their recovery, so sleep, stress, and nutrition. And then finally, the final part of the puzzle is the actual progressive rehab program to get them stronger and more mobile. Now, when it comes to environmental factors, a lot of us will think that we're just naturally stiff. I'm Irish and it was very painful for me to even sit on the ground in my mid-20s. Now I find that position very comfortable just from practicing it. And all of this stuff came to my attention when I was living in Asia for 2 years in my mid-20s, and I saw people in their 60s, 70s, 80s comfortably squatting and sitting on the ground with no major issues. Of course, for people the same age in Ireland, this would have been almost impossible, causing pain and discomfort. And the reason being is a lot of people in Asia and in second and third world countries, they never stop moving their joints through full range or through range that's going to allow them to stay mobile, meaning that they stay sitting on the ground from childhood all the way up to old age, squatting throughout the day, every day, and they don't get into a habit of stopping all of these ranges once they go to school. And that's what happened to me, and it probably happened to you as well in all Western countries. Once we go to school, that's when we stay in chairs and we stop using our hip mobility, and this is linked to lower back. So you can do all of the rehab movements in the world, but if you're spending 99% of your time in compromised positions throughout the day, it's going to be a much slower process for you. So I like to look at this as the low-hanging fruit, the areas of your life that you can access and change to get the best outcomes, and just spending more time upright throughout the day is one of those ways. So 2 simple changes you can make right away to your environment would be, number 1, add in an extra 1,000 steps a day every day going forwards. So if you average 2,000 or 3,000 steps a day, you'll bump that up to 3,000 to 4,000 steps a day. The second thing that you can focus on is every 45 minutes you're sitting, you want to get up out of your chair for 2 minutes. Now, the next thing we focus on is mindset, and this is a really important part of injury recovery. After having an injury for a number of weeks, months, or even years, you can start to identify as someone with an injury. And an example of this is you can start saying that you have a bad back. And I know when I had my back pain, I would be worried about long trips in the car or long periods of sitting, or even afraid of things like deadlifting, because I was telling myself that would cause me pain. And it's really important to start understanding that how you frame things is going to lead to a slower or quicker progression with your rehab. Of course, it's hard to get out of this position if you keep hurting yourself. So that's where a progressive individualized program is going to be very helpful for you to get out of pain. It's going to allow you to build confidence by repeatedly training and showing up and not getting hurt again. And that's going to give you more confidence back into your body as well. The next area we focus on is recovery. And if you're underslept, you're stressed out of your head, and you're not eating properly, it's going to be much harder to recover from back pain or any other injury. So the first area that we focus on, again, in a low-hanging fruit way, is your sleep. And if you're not sleeping more than 7 hours a night, this is an area that's going to have a profound impact on how you feel, but also your recovery and your performance going forwards. So very simply, the easiest way to get more sleep is to implement a 60-minute wind down before bed. The reality is nowadays with technology, with all the things that we have on our minds, it's very hard to go from watching Netflix or being on your phone to going straight to bed. Your brain is going at 100 miles an hour or 1,000 miles an hour. So you want to actually calm it down in that 60-minute wind down, so when you are ready for bed, you can actually sleep, because there's nothing more frustrating than having your head racing and being anxious at the end of the day and not being able to sleep when you actually want to. The next area that we focus on is your stress management. And the great thing about stress management is when your sleep improves, your stress management reduces and your overall capacity and resilience increases with your sleep. And doing that in conjunction with getting more fresh air, more steps, and also following a progressive training routine, your stress is going to lower. Now, if you wanted to improve your stress management even more, journaling is a great activity, and then some mindfulness-based movements like breath work or meditation are good things to manage stress also. When it comes to your nutrition, this is a pretty loaded topic and everyone has an opinion on the perfect diet, the best diet, what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat. And I just want to make it really simple for you and not get you confused or unsure about what's the best path. So if you look at your plate, you want to have half of your plate is vegetables, a quarter of the plate would be starches, so like potatoes, sweet potato, rice, pasta, that kind of stuff. And then the other quarter of the plate would be protein. So whether that's plant-based protein or animal protein. And once you have that approach with your meals 3 or 2 times a day, however often you're eating, you're going to be pretty well set when it comes to your nutrition. The next step is the progressive rehab program, and I've outlined some recommendations for 3 different levels. Level 1 is if you have a pretty acute phase of pain, you feel that it's struggling to do a lot of movements. This is a very safe place to start. Level 2 is where you would progress to from level 1, or if your pain has subsided somewhat and you feel stronger with moving forwards. And then level 3 is where you feel that you're in a position where you are able to strengthen your lower back in more challenging ranges. And if you're able to execute everything in level 3, you know that you're in a really good place with your back pain. So long-term success when it comes to your back pain, the number one thing, like anything else, is consistency. Lower back pain is a really frustrating condition. It's something I've had for over 3 years. And if I drop the ball with my training and doing the movements correctly, then my back pain will come back. So if I spend a lot of time commuting, sitting at a desk, and I don't do my rehabilitation exercises or strength exercises, that area of my lower back is going to get worse again. So staying with the process, trusting the process, and then also finding a professional like a physiotherapist or a coach to help guide you along the process, because there are going to be ups and downs, and it's important to stay consistent even when you don't feel that confident moving forwards. That being said, following the advice outlined in this video and article is going to give you a lot of benefits going forwards too. Thanks for watching.